You know, sometimes I feel sorry for Fox News. No, I don't. They had a choice: journalism and the pursuit of truth, or join a cult. That said, I think it's good for Democrats to appear on these shows. Even though reciting facts to someone like Sean Hannity is like trying to teach a dog algebra. I know, I've been there.
Telling me this is Donald Trump's fault? This is in the left. Violence is in the DNA of the American left and always has been.
You're high. My friends say, why did you go on those shows? I said, because they're morons. Standing next to stupid people makes me look smart, and that's not easy. But when you're in the Biden administration and you have a strong economy and a vision that supports the American dream, you must go on Fox and destroy them.
Let me be clear. Unemployment is lower than it was even before COVID. Stock market is higher than it was even before COVID. And job creation is faster than it was even before COVID. So no matter what rebound effects you're talking about, these are economic results that have not happened since before I was born. Now, in terms of cost, that's been a major issue. And by the way, that's been a major issue in every wealthy country. This is an example of something that was largely affected by COVID.
Little background on Pete Buttigieg. He's the Secretary of Transportation, a Rhodes Scholar, a naval officer who was deployed to Afghanistan, and while there, was part of a unit assigned to identify and disrupt terrorist finance networks. He's also a married father and a former mayor. Sean Hannity, he can roll his own cigarettes.
But I think there's a reason why inflation in the U.S. is lower than it is in any of the other G7
countries. It's actually not true. At least, well, not according to the Washington Post. They say Japan, Italy, and Germany all had lower inflation rates than we do, and Italy's is less than 1%.
They may have been looking at a different time period, but I'm telling you, if you look at the overall time period when it was toughest, our inflation rate was better. And I would add, right now, wages are going up faster than prices. That means even after inflation, you're coming out ahead.
It's hard to keep up with smart people, and this Fox anchor tried, but Pete's numbers are right. And that's the problem with Fox. Sure, they have a big audience, but so does Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I know you hate me, but just try to control yourself.
Fox lies and promotes lies about everything. Hannity, Ingram, and this mullet head don't deal in facts, but instead they feed the cult.
All of a sudden, this guy is like amped. On speed or something, Jessica, to dismiss it like, he's definitely clean. He should pee in a cup.
When it's politics, like the border, it's easy to allow lies, like Susie Buttermilk did the other day. She took a 20-year-old murder by a Mexican gang member that happened in Mexico and tried to lay it on Biden.
But to be clear, the story that you relayed is not something that's happened under the Biden administration, that particular person.
But when it's the economy, Fox has been lying about the numbers for years, predicting all sorts of mayhem.
What's going on? Why do all the big money people support Biden, given what he's done to the economy?
Well, so those guys are wrong. I mean, look, they're wrong. They've been wrong for a long time.
That's Larry Kudlow, not a Rhodes Scholar, never served in the military, never ran a city, and served under Trump as an economic advisor. The same Trump who never had a GDP growth of 3%, while Biden has had 4 quarters of 4% growth, and the last quarter topped 5%. The interview with Ding Dong Ingram was back in October of 2023, but now with this economy that Buttigieg just laid out, well, Larry, an apology would be nice.
Here's an interesting mea culpa from Donald Trump's former economic advisor, Larry Kudlow.
Mea culpa, I was wrong about the slowdown in the recessions.
Dude, remember that, because I guarantee you, he got a ration of shit for telling the truth. Why? Because if Fox told the truth all day, they'd have to change their name to MSNBC.
Now, look, congressional Republicans were against President Biden when he worked to cut insulin down to $35 a month for seniors. Right now, especially for families that are pressed on costs, we could have insulin capped at $35 a month for everybody, not just for seniors. All it would take is for a few congressional Republicans to walk away from agreeing with Big Pharma and start agreeing with President Biden. That's not the only cost he's out to cut. He was in the House in that State of the Union speech calling for an across-the-board $2,000 out-of-pocket cap, something else that would help in a country where people are feeling the pinch of those prices that went up with post-COVID inflation. Congressional Republicans are standing in the way of it, but he's going to keep pushing. He's trying to get rid of junk fees, taking on credit card companies, because we know that those are something that affects the cost of living. And look, something else that comes into play alongside the cost of housing is the cost of transportation, which is why, after years and years of talk and years of failure, President Biden successfully began to implement the infrastructure bill that is now creating jobs, boosting income, and lowering the cost of our supply chains in every part of the country.
Putting a Rhodes Scholar on Fox is unfair, and it confuses the audience. It's like trying to teach calculus to Dairy Queen and Sorry My Hands Are Cold Boebert. This is Fox Business's Maria Bartiromo, who at times tries to crawl out from underneath the Fox shadow, only to get sucked back into interviewing Trump about macroeconomics.
Jay Powell, the Fed chairman, is talking about a soft landing. Do you believe we will see a soft landing?
Well, I think he's going to do something to probably help the Democrats, you know.
So you think he's political? He's just going to cut rates to help Biden, you say?
I think he's political.
And to that point, why would anyone but a cult tout Trump's numbers? 6 bankruptcies, a $500 million fine for fraud, banned from owning charities or universities or even a business in his hometown of New York. And every metric as a president makes him look like Dark Brandon's bitch. But this happens when smart people stand up to stupid. And at the heart of the Trump cult is keeping people ignorant.
I love the poorly educated.
There's nothing new here, but for a second, let's cut the Fox audience a little slack. And I know they're low-hanging fruit, but the Fox Republican message has been so pervasive that if it's all you watch, well, I kind of feel for these people.
Can't afford to feed ourselves, and there's only 2 of us. We didn't have that problem under Trump.
Between the gas prices and all the, even the food prices, grocery prices, I mean, look at them nowadays. You know, $2-3 a dozen eggs, $5 a gallon of milk. You know, you got to make $15-20 an hour just to survive out here anymore.
Inflation wasn't just here. After the pandemic, every major country had huge numbers. In the UK, it went up to 14%. That's 1978 numbers. But as you also heard, the economy is not only back, but better than before the pandemic.
Let me be clear. Unemployment is lower than it was even before COVID. Stock market is higher than it was even before COVID. And job creation is faster than it was even before COVID.
And those numbers, by the way, are from the Congressional Budget Office from a Republican House of Representatives. You see, Fox News counts on you being confused. And macroeconomics is confusing. Controlling a $1 trillion economy after a pandemic is like trying to stop an aircraft carrier on a dime. It's heavy stuff and it takes smart people. And here's the catch. Fox executives and their on-air talent, they're not stupid. They're just manipulative, disingenuous traitors because they're courting a crowd whose lives are like most Americans, busy doing their own shit, and they have to trust someone, so they trusted Fox.
Corrupt, high-ranking law enforcement officials tried to rig an election and destroy Donald Trump.
Now, while 80% of Americans graduate high school, only 37% graduate college. And Fox viewers graduate at an even lower rate from high school and college. But I'm not judging them. They're being lied to at every turn by people who are good at it. On Fox, you'll hear this shit about the media elite. Hannity told Politico in a 2017 interview, the media has a bunch of overpaid, out of touch, lazy millionaires that have nothing but contempt for the people that do this country great. Then he added, I'm not one of those people. Yeah, but that's coming from the top-rated primetime host of the top-rated cable news channel who makes $46 million a year, has homes in Long Island and Naples, Florida, and $90 million in additional real estate purchased through shell corporations with government-backed loans. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Buttigieg's point on our healthcare system. A decade after the passage of Obamacare, Democrats are still fighting Fox and Republicans to protect it. Today, under Biden, millions of Americans are covered, and now Biden is extending it to make life-saving drugs affordable.
That's been a major issue.
Having Pete Buttigieg kick ass on Fox is a good thing. Good for Democrats, good for regular people, good for all Americans. But for Fox, not so much.
Am I wrong?
Damn right.
Yes!
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
Follow, like, and hit notifications as Really American keeps you up to date on the latest Republican cult lie in this very important year. For Really American, I'm Chip Franklin.